Hey, it's been a while since we've talked about a monster comic, so I'm talking about one today. It's been like 3 months, but anyway, today I'm talking about Let This One Be a Devil. It's a new-ish Dark Horse comic coming out as a monthly issue. It's written by James Tynion and Steve Foxe, with art by Piotr Kowalski. The comic follows Henry Naughton, a young man who left his small-town life among the Pine Barrens of New Jersey in favor of getting a higher education. Henry is called back home by the death of his father, and then ends up sticking around, wanting to support his mother and younger brother Roy. At least that's what we've been told so far, but as is often the case in comics, I wouldn't be surprised if there were additional reasons for his return to the secluded small town. It is sort of a middle of nowhere. If you've ever seen or been to the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, it's a large area that is just public state-owned land. It covers like 22% of the state of New Jersey. But the comic kicks off in the year 1909, when one night the family's chickens are attacked and Henry ventures out to investigate what's going on. Outside, he comes face to face with a creature in the darkness. The beast is unlike anything Henry had seen before and acts as a catalyst for further exploration into the unknown. Henry's main defining character trait, I would say, is his curiosity, and he is thrown into the mystery of the Jersey Devil. Although Henry grew up among the Pine Barrens, it is abundantly clear that he's never cared very much for wives' tales or folklore. He spends his time during issue 2 of the series asking a local historian about the history and beliefs surrounding the creature. Although the other boys in town, who all seem to be more so Roy's age, so a few years younger than Henry, are familiar with the beast, it's worth noting that Henry literally has no idea what's going on in regards to the creature or its lore. I said before that the comic follows Henry Naughton, but that's not entirely true. We do get cutaways and flashbacks to various points in history, mostly concerning the Leeds family and various influences of the creature's origin. I'm going to use that as a transition to talk about the Jersey Devil. For anyone that needs context, I love cryptids. I wanted to be a cryptozoologist when I was a kid and spent way too much time studying cryptids as if they were going to pop up on my SATs in high school. If you want to skip my shabby history lesson though, you are welcome to jump to the next section. The Jersey Devil occupies the Pine Barrens of southern New Jersey and is often described as a bipedal creature with goat legs, a horse head, and leathery wings. The most common origin for the creature stems from the story of Mother Leeds' 13th child. The Leeds family had 12 children, and in 1735, before the 13th child was born, it was forsaken by Mother Leeds. She said the child would be born a devil, and sure enough, when the child was finally born, its form was monstrous. The creature flew up the chimney that night and into the Pine Barrens, stalking southern New Jersey ever since. There are also supposed other origins for the creature, with some potential ties to Native American stories and influences.
And they referred to this part of the world, the Pine Barrens of what is now New Jersey, as the place of the dragon.
Personally though, I'm all in for the Mother Leeds story myself. It might be interesting to see the comic explore these alternative influences if done with tact. So far, the comic has featured 2 timestamps: 1735, when the devil was supposedly born, and 1909, when the Jersey Devil had its most prominent sightings on record. In 1909, the Jersey Devil was seen in a multitude of locations, particularly during January of that year. The comic also directly mentions the bounty for the Jersey Devil from the Philadelphia Zoo, and its encounter with Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte's brother, who reportedly saw the Jersey Devil. The authors are clearly passionate about the legends and dive deeply into the creature's past. This is by far the most interesting aspect of the comic, at least in my opinion. The Jersey Devil, I would say, is pretty popular in regards to American cryptids, with a plethora of documentaries, monster hunter shows, and even comedies featuring the beast.
Hey Siri, play some New Jersey music.
While not exactly Bigfoot, I would personally say he surpasses the popularity of creatures like the Loveland Frogman or the Squonk. As much as I hold a spot in my heart for those little weirdos, they just can't compare in the level of notoriety. At minimum, the legend of the Jersey Devil has persevered throughout the ages and has a stable foothold in its home state of New Jersey. Okay, enough prattling about cryptids. Let's talk about the art and the writing of Let This One Be a Devil. The book itself has a really nice look. The heavy use of lines and shadows gives it almost an etched, lino-cut look. This presents as a nice, gritty feel that I think reflects well with the story and the tone of the comic. Characters' faces and emotions can sometimes look a bit stiff, in my opinion, but it doesn't take away from the greater ambience of the book. The writing of Let This One Be a Devil is also nice, utilizing a middle ground of modern cadence and older sounding dialogue. While it leans into the setting, this isn't Robert Eggers' The Witch or anything, and characters are definitely easy to understand right from the get-go. The main character also resembles Milo Thatch from Journey to Atlantis, which is neither here nor there, but definitely gives it some points, at least for me. Overall, I would say the comic runs a bit of a middle ground. It may stem from my previous knowledge of the Jersey Devil, but neither issue 1 or 2 really sustained my interest. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I do wonder if I would like it even more with less familiarity to the creature's legend. I don't find the characters particularly memorable either, with Henry's most notable trait being his curiosity towards the creature, or perhaps his drive to help his family, although I'm still not entirely sold on what that means to his character. It leaves me wanting to know a bit more about him, just so I have some kind of connection with his character in general. The dynamic between Henry and his brother Roy is also noteworthy, but feels kind of one-dimensional in its presentation so far. While it is a fun exploration into the myths and legends of the Jersey Devil, this comic is sort of take it or leave it for me. Part of me wants to know what kind of story will unfold, like, is this a monster hunter origin story for Henry? Is he going to become the American Van Helsing? Or perhaps the comic will continue to consist of fragments of time affected by the mysterious creature. Will we see the creature face off against our protagonists, or will it take a more sympathetic look at the human side of the Jersey Devil's origin, assuming there's any human left within it? I guess what I'm trying to say is the concept of Let This One Be a Devil is interesting to me, but it's 2 issues in and I found the execution a bit stale. With 4 issues total in this story, I also just don't know how they can make the next 2 issues as exciting as I think I personally was looking for it to be when the first 2 issues have sort of meandered. There are a lot of excellent games, movies, television shows, etc. that have sort of a slower pace. 2 of my favorites would be Silent Hill or Midnight Mass, a series on Netflix. I do think that there is an audience for this book. It just tonally is very different than what I was anticipating when I initially picked it up. It could just be that I'm impatient for action, or that the comic truly has begun to drag. That is a personal opinion either way though, and I would love to hear what others think. I would also love to find more comics focused on or inspired by American cryptids. Give me an eldritch horror comic about the Dover demons or a small sailing ship fighting the Ogopogo. I would honestly just love to check it out. Hi, it's future me coming in to say that it's been like 2 weeks since I recorded this video, assuming I didn't just trash the video. Yeah. Thanks for your patience with everything that I upload. I feel like I've been taking like a month to upload something. I do have a few other videos that I'm hoping to record and hoping to edit, and maybe I even posted something before I posted this one, but I doubt it. Yeah. Thanks for your patience, and I'd love to talk more about cryptids and mythical creatures. It's an interest of mine that I've had forever. So yeah, let me know if you know any comics or stories or movies or whatever worth checking out. All right, anyway, thanks. Bye, YouTube.